In phonetics and phonology, at times we need to go through the physical properties of sounds. While going through the physical properties, we need to go through the waveforms. The waveforms of consonants are very important because we at times need to go through the manners of articulation, but in terms of acoustics. And that acoustic study is done when the consonants are shaped into waveforms. All right. So the waveforms of consonants actually, they give us some acoustic properties and some cues for acoustic properties. All right. So acoustically, the places of articulation are not visible, right? This means that within waveforms, we are unable to determine properly that which place of articulation is involved. But from the waveforms, we can say that which manner of articulation is involved and which consonant has which manner of articulation, right? These waveforms give us distinctive points regarding sounds, and in shape of consonants, we are able to understand that what is basically the properties of sounds, like what sort of structure is involved, right? Is it completely closing off the air passage in the oral cavity, right? And is there any specific modification to the oral cavity while producing that sound, right? So such distinctive points are given by waveforms, all right? Places of articulation are not obviously given in waveforms, right? But of course, we are able to apparently see what is there in the waveform, like which manner of articulation is involved. And waveforms are basically providing us with the required detail of articulatory gestures. And these gestures, like what targets were there which were hit by the articulators, right? So those articulatory gestures are described by the waveforms, right? And waveforms can also give us the feature of voicing, that whether the sound was voiced or voiceless. So the voicing feature is also given by the waveforms. All right, and we can also, with the help of waveforms, distinguish very, very clearly that whether the sound is obstruent or sonorant, because sonority is something which is, which is very clearly given in the consonants. All right. So let me show you the waveforms of this sentence, which is written on page 18 in your textbook by Lederfogen and Johnson, right? And this sentence is, my two boys know how to fish, right? Which is given here, right? My two boys, they know how to fish. And this is written in terms of waveforms here. First, let me show you this distance, right? The length, right? The length shows that the whole sentence was spoken in 2.5 seconds, right? 2.5 seconds. All right. And then from the features you can see, first thing, which is very important to know here, is that this speech is in continuous lining, okay? You see, there is no clear-cut break, right? So it is a continuous stream, right? And then you can see from waveform that there is a break, you see here, and this is ma, since ma is a stop. So you see, there is ma, and of course, this is a form of, voicing attached to this ma sound, and then I, which is a diphthong, I. You see, this is shown here, this I sound, a diphthong, a vowel, right? And then here is again a closure. This closure, it shows that it's a stop, t stop here in this sentence, t, right? And then this burst, which is the release of t, if you remember the features of a stop, this is the burst, right? So first there is a stop, the air passage is blocked here, right? And then there is a burst, release of the air passage. And after that, there is again one vowel, which is oo, right? Oo. So from here, you can also just imagine that this is diphthong, which is quite, longer than oo, which is a long, it is a long vowel, all right? And this is a diphthong. So you just see the length. So length is also visible here. And then for b sound, and it's interestingly visible here, that this b, which is a stop, so closure is there. You see, this closure is there. But you can compare this b, if you just compare it with t, then you can see the voicing line. You see this shade is visible here. You know this is thicker than the t. So this is the voicing line, just giving you the approximate information. And then oi, boy. You see, again, a long sound. And this long sound, of course, says that this is something like diphthong. Okay, right? Since you know that diphthong is the collection of two sounds, two vowels working as one vowel, right? You see the length of this sound. And again, there is a consonant. This is interesting because you can compare that these long sounds are vowels. You see, these are vowels. And those, when there are thin lining or like stoppage, then these are consonants. So one very visible difference between consonant and vowel is there, right? And this is fricative, so this friction is also here. And then n again, which is nasal sound. You can compare this n with ma. Just see the difference and compare that how similar they are. So this is n, right? And this is ma, all right? And then after n, there is o sound, no, right? So o, once again a diphthong, right? And then you see the h sound here, which is again fricative and friction is there. And then how, so aw is there, aw, and then a closure in order to pronounce the t sound, right? And after t, if you just think about these very short interactions, you see, this is t. So after t, this vowel is quite small. And you can just have an idea that this is something like a reduced vowel, right? So, and you see that since this is not a complete tu, this is t, something like t. So a reduction is there and the vowel is reduced. And you can see from the waveform that how it is reduced. And then again f, which is fricative here, right? So this fricative sound is visible here. And then one more very short vowel. And then again the affricate sound sh. So these at the end, these are very short interactions are found, right? So this is the waveforms of a consonant, and these waves, they show us that how different are the sounds of vowels than consonants, and we are also able to at least approximately determine and approximately say something about the difference between the two sounds, vowels and consonants. And these waveforms for consonants are really important because they give us some acoustic cues, some interactions, and later in the course we would be discussing these acoustic features in greater detail.